You're about to close a 2-year chapter of your life this week, and most people are going to miss the exact moment it happens because they're watching the wrong day. It's not really about Friday night, when a lunar eclipse in Pisces lights up the sky and everyone's phone starts buzzing with eclipse energy posts. It's about the 6 days building up to it and the 2 weeks after it that decide whether this eclipse actually changes anything for you or just passes through like a dramatic Tuesday. This is the last week of summer, but it's also the closing chapter of the corridor that opened back on August 12th, and the last real turning point on an eclipsed axis that's been quietly rearranging Virgo and Pisces themes in your life since September 2024. Let's walk through it day by day, because this week, the order genuinely matters. Monday the 24th is grounded and practical. The moon sits in Capricorn while the sun holds its early degrees of Virgo. And a cooperative Saturn-Jupiter combination favors anyone with a plan on paper rather than just a feeling. Expect a few tense moon aspects too, mostly the tug between duty and desire. Real errands and paperwork pulling against a very real wish for a little beauty or indulgence today. Split the day in half, treat yourself first thing, handle the unglamorous tasks second, and promise yourself something nice again once they're done. Contracts, big purchases, and admin you've been avoiding all move smoothly today. And because this whole week sits inside an eclipse corridor, whatever you start now tends to leave a longer mark than usual. Tuesday the 25th, the moon drifts into Aquarius, a day built for imagination more than logic, and the night before it tends to bring unusually vivid dreams, worth a notebook by the bed. The same day, Mercury moves into Virgo and stays there through September 10th, sharpening focus and analytical thinking, and often bringing an unexpected but important conversation. Sometimes with someone you haven't spoken to in a while. Good day for love, honest conversation, exercise, travel, or finally starting something physical you've been putting off. Even work-related tasks go unusually well for a Sunday, so don't assume the day is only for rest if you'd rather be productive. Wednesday the 26th keeps the moon in Aquarius, and the morning carries a Moon-Jupiter opposition, emotions running a little bigger than the situation calls for, and other people possibly falling slightly short of what you needed from them. Don't take it personally this early in the day, it settles. By afternoon, the mood shifts noticeably, a good stretch for leaning on other people, group conversations, presentations, or asking for advice you actually need. Anything you finalize today, especially a signature or an agreement, tends to hold. Thursday the 27th is the night before and it feels like it. The moon conjoins the lunar north node in Aquarius, quietly preparing you for what Friday brings, and unexpected calls, messages, or information tend to show up, more often good news that shifts your direction than bad. Sun and Mercury sit conjunct in Virgo and square Uranus, a strong setup for a sudden insight, the kind where you finally see straight through a problem you've been circling for weeks. Good day for new acquaintances, signing something, or writing plans down by hand rather than typing them. It actually helps you follow through later. Go easy on your body today specifically. This isn't the day for a hard workout or an overloaded schedule. Save the energy, rest, and let your mind wander instead. Everything up to this point has just been the runway. Friday is where the runway ends. Then comes Friday the 28th, when the lunar eclipse goes exact in Pisces at 12:18 a.m. Eastern, opposite the sun in Virgo. This isn't the final eclipse this particular axis will ever produce. One more, a fainter penumbral one, is still coming in February 2027, but it is the last eclipse of this corridor, and the last one for roughly 6 months. Eclipses work like a full moon turned up far past its normal intensity, so expect real culmination energy, something ending outright for a lot of people this week. A move, a job change, a relationship running its course, a habit finally getting dropped. For others, it's less external and more internal, a shift in how you see something, which still ends up fueling real change over the following months. Either way, the 2 weeks after the 28th, as the moon wanes, are one of the strongest windows all year for actually clearing out what doesn't belong anymore. Clutter, obligations, people, patterns. Illusions also tend to lift hard around this specific eclipse. Expect to see a situation or a person exactly as they are, not as you'd hope. Resist the urge to make big commitments on the day itself. The sky favors solitude, rest, and reflection here far more than action. So if you've been wanting to journal, meditate, or simply ask your own subconscious a direct question before bed, this is the night to do it. Saturday the 29th is tender the morning after something that big. A strong day for romance, a real conversation instead of a surface one, and new connections that end up sticking around. The Saturn-Jupiter cooperation that's been running quietly all week is still active. So anything you build on purpose right now, a relationship, a project, a habit, keeps compounding rather than fading by Monday. Spend it with people who actually matter to you or outside if you can manage it. Either does real work on your mood. Sunday, the 30th, brings the moon into Aries in a genuine jolt of energy. Pluto and Uranus both getting lit up in the background. That specific feeling of electricity in the air that makes you want to move instead of sit still. Good day for love, honest conversation, exercise, travel, or finally starting something physical you've been putting off. Even work-related tasks go unusually well for a Sunday, so don't assume the day is only for rest if you'd rather be productive. And Monday, the 31st, the last day of summer, closes the week on unusually solid footing. Jupiter and Saturn form their exact trine, Jupiter supplying the big vision, Saturn supplying the concrete next step. And a lot of people will feel unusually clear about exactly what to do next, not just what they want. Good day for agreements, signing something important, and specifically for sitting down and writing your actual plan for. September, while the Sun and Mercury are still active and supportive in Virgo, Venus sits comfortably in Libra all day too. So it's a genuinely good day for love, a date, or simply making something with your hands. Here's how Friday's eclipse specifically lands sign by sign. Aries, this eclipse falls in your 12th house. The quiet, hidden part of your charts, the real movement happens out of view. Something behind the scenes finally resolves. Let solitude do the work this weekend instead of forcing yourself out. Taurus, it lands in your 11th house of friends and future plans. A group project or a friendship either deepens for real this week or shows you it's already run its course. Either answer is useful. Gemini, your 10th house of career takes the hit in a good way. A public matter, your reputation, or a boss finally reveals its true shape. Closing one chapter of your work story before September opens the next. Cancer, this is your 9th house, travel, belief, the bigger picture. Expect real news about a trip, a course, or a belief you've simply outgrown, and let it go rather than defending it out of habit. Leo, it's your 8th house, shared money and real intimacy. A financial tangle or an emotionally intense bond reaches its actual conclusion this week, and either way, you come out lighter. Virgo, this one is about you directly. The eclipse opposes your own sign. So a relationship finally shows you its real terms, not the version you've been hoping for. Let the truth land instead of arguing with it. Libra, it's your 6th house, health, work, daily order. Your body or your schedule gets the final word this week about what actually has to change. Listen to it before it insists harder. Scorpio, this lands in your 5th house, romance, creativity, kids, if that applies. A creative project or a love story hits a real turning point. Sometimes an ending. Sometimes finally, the commitment you've both been circling. Sagittarius, it's your 4th house, home and family. Something about where you live or a family matter that's been building all year reaches its conclusion this week. Expect it to feel bigger than a single Friday. Capricorn, this is your third house, communication, and everyday life. A conversation, a sibling matter, or a piece of news close to home lands with more weight than you'd expect from something so ordinary looking. Aquarius, it's your second house, money and self-worth. A financial decision or a question about what you're actually worth gets a real answer this week, not just another maybe. Pisces, this is entirely your event. The eclipse lands right in your own sign. Expect the most personal version of this whole week. A genuine turning point in who you're becoming, not just what you're doing. If this resonated with you, hit like and subscribe, and drop a comment telling me what you're letting go of with this eclipse.